Happy Friday, everybody! Happy start to the new year. So, in the new year, I'll be giving everybody a different visual feel. So, here you're seeing me playing as white on the 3D board. Alright, sorry about that. So, whenever you see me playing on the 3D board, it's normally going to be a slow game. Alright? So, because with the 3D board, I think you can take your time, right? It's not so easy to see the moves, right? Yeah, there will be some temporal delays, right, when you're moving the pieces. So it's better that you start off things slow, right? All right. So let's go for the Queen's Gambit. Okay. So I guess this person is going for the King's Indian defense, right? So let's just play the normal variation. D6. So here I think I'll play something a little bit more creative. Bishop D3 instead of Bishop E2. H3. There's this prospect of going for the G4 push. Okay. D5 first. Then later on, okay, that's very clever. Okay. If it doesn't take my knight, I will take his knight. Yeah. So in this position, I think it's perfectly fine for me to castle. Alright, so knight e8, that's very understandable. So he wants to push f5. Okay, so before that, I guess, there's some options for me. Bishop d3, f4, queen c2. Maybe f4 is a little bit too hasty. But still, I would say that f4 is the most positional. Right, so let's just go for f4. All the other moves will be a bit too slow. Alright, in this situation, I think I have bishop e3 as well. Bishop e3, bishop d3. Oh, I don't think this is wise. I think e5 simply... Yeah, e5 would do very nicely in this situation. Alright, so the knight plans to hop to e3, but e3 is covered. So it would be a disaster if I move my bishop to h2, right? Okay. So for the time being, I think I got to cover my dark squares on the king side. There's also the prospect, of course, the immediate prospect is knight d4. Yeah. Alright, I think I'll go for bishop d3 and then knight e2. Now the question for black is whether he wants to exchange off the knights. I don't think that's going to happen, of course. Queen b6 is an option for black. Queen b6, b3. And it's not easy to find a move for black, you know, after b3. So I'm just waiting for him to see what he can do. Maybe after queen b6, b3, there's maybe f6. f6 is an option, yeah. f6 is an option, then maybe knight takes... Yeah, I think knight takes d4. That should be fine. Knight takes d4 and then queen e2. So in this situation, I guess I'll just use my queen. Yeah. f6 is an option here. Yeah, but still, I think black's position is not very good. Yeah. There's definitely no b5 break. Yeah, and then rook b8 would fail. Yeah, it will fail to e6. Yeah. It's just not very good at all. Yeah. e6, rook a8. Yeah, it's really me who's calling the shots, right? Yeah. And notice how weak the c5 pawn is. Right? It's always susceptible to attack the c5 pawn. If, you know, for example, if maybe it's my move and queen f2, right, b6, bishop e4, yeah. You know, and then there's this double attack on the rook, on a8. Yeah. Say if rook b8, then e6, right, bishop on f4 attacks the rook on b8. Yeah, this person is just, I'm not so sure whether he's still in the game, but he's just burning his time, like no tomorrow. It's very easy for white to develop, you know, to play. I can just put one of my rooks to d1. The a rook would be the perfect one, if it's my move, that is. And then after that, you know, queen e3, attacking c5, and then also bringing the bishop to h6. Yeah, so that can just drum up and attack. And then, of course, you should simply just double up the rooks. Yeah, double up the rooks along the f file, and that should be just a winning attack for white. Okay, I do not know what happened, so let me just refresh it. Maybe it's just my browser. Oh, the refresh button is here. Okay, reload site. Okay, so yeah, it's just this person. He's just burning his time. Burning his time like no tomorrow. So everybody will just take a look at what Stockfish thinks. Yeah, so I got a wing, but there's no sound, so I have no idea what just happened. So this is definitely better for white. Like e6, Stockfish's choice. Yeah, but that's just no play, right? And this is really truly terrible. Yeah, I just don't like it at all. Even not, I mean, what about this? Yeah, the bishop move, simply move it. And rook a7. Yeah, this is just horrible, right? This is just not nice at all. Yeah. Okay, let's go for another game, right? This one was just way too easy, all right? So that was victory against KID. So this time I will play the King's Indian, right? Just to show everybody how things are done. Okay, so this person is playing an offbeat Chigoring-like opening with knight c3 instead of c4. So knight c3 was played by Mikhail Chigorin at the start of the 20th century. But anyway, we'll go for the KID setup. Oh, so he's doing this. He's doing the London system, all right? Jobava London. I played the same setup as white, just to let everybody know. Right now, I don't really have the time to do a series on the London system, but hopefully in the future, all right? All right, so this is very, this is very, very ambitious, extremely ambitious. I do h6 instead of h5. H5, yeah, h5 stops h5 by white immediately, but at the same time, you know, once you have your pawn on h5, it can be attacked by g4. You know, there's potentially a g4 sack, you know, after f3. So I don't really like it. And now there's let me see whether I can do. Okay, I think I'll do c5. Yeah, Sicilian style, right? c5. Yeah, just do c5. D takes c. queen a5. And that just highlights the weakness of having a knight on c3. So the queen has to move. White's queen has to move somewhere. Queen d2. I mean, if not queen d2, then, well, wow. Wow. Everybody can see this. We have a triple attack on c3. And this also shows the power of the KID setup against the London. Yeah, this is just not going to work. I think he's got to take my knight. Otherwise, I think everybody knows what's going to happen, right? Either the knight or the bishop. Take the knight on c3, and then I take the bishop on b5. So let me just play the pre-move. Why is this person thinking? Maybe he's thinking of knight ge2. Okay, that's a way. That's a potential way to defend, but still I think that still loses the bishop, right? After the double exchanges on c3, then queen takes b5. Alright, yeah, so yeah, okay, fine. He sees it. He's not stupid. Can you find a way to defend for black? Sorry, to defend for white? Yeah, black doesn't really... Oh, that's very clever. Alright, if I take the knight using my knight, I get checkmated. Okay, so... In this case, I think the best move would... yeah, would simply be this, alright? There's always the bishop, alright? There's always the bishop. As we can see, we have a beautiful isosceles triangular attack. Queen on c3, right? Forking. Yeah, this is a fork. Yeah, this is the queen fork. It's the queen fork that forms the isosceles or equilateral triangle, depending on how you look at it, right? Maybe it's an equilateral triangle. I think it's much better. Yeah, so I guess I would just okay, I would just check it first, okay? And then I will take the queen. Yeah. And then after that, of course, I take back the pawn on d6. Yeah. And yep. So I am a full rook up, an extra rook on the queen side. All right. That being said, I still have to play carefully, right? So where can the knight hop to? All right, the knight can go to d4. I can potentially stop it with c5, but I don't really want to mess up my pawns, right? My pawns are beautiful on the squares that they stand, so I'm not going to do any unnecessary movements for now, right? Knight takes e6. Yeah, simply will just accelerate the demise of white. Thank you for the pawn. So bishop can just retreat to d5, attacking the other pawn on g2. Defending c6 as well. Alright, so the knight hops to f5. It's really inauspicious. Nothing's going to happen. Alright, thank you for the pawn. Yeah, I was a bit slow with my fingers, so sorry about that, people. Alright. Oh, so he wants to do a check on e7. That's not going to happen, of course. Alright, Oh, he doesn't really want to go for the exchange. That's very understandable, right? And now he wants to check me on b7. That's not going to happen. And he wants to take my pawn on a7. Of course, that's not going to happen. Just thinking of a way, right, to defend. I mean, if I do my king, move my king to b7, that's just foolishness, right? Yeah, I get a fork. Yeah, I'm not going to let that happen. So, okay, I think I'll just do it the active approach. All right. Now, if knight takes d6, I mean, of course, there's rook d8, ping and wing. Oh, this is amazing! Wow. Thank you for the knight. Thank you for the knight. Yeah. Maybe this is commentator's curse. And now, right, you get to see the king march to c5. King c5 exclamation mark. Of course, it's better than king c7 because king c7, rook b7. I take the knight on d6 with my king, but then he takes my a7 pawn, and then the rook has some initiative along the 7th rank. So I'm not going to do that, of course. Why give your opponent extra pawns? Alright, so this time we have the music. Alright, so we have the wing. Right, thank you everybody. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this two-part series on the King's Indian defense. So in the first part, you saw me defeating the King's Indian defense positionally, right? I mean, it was not a crushing defeat, but it was a positional defeat, right, using the bishop d3 variation. And in the second one, you saw me taking up KID, right, against the London setup, the traditional Jobava setup, Jobava variation, where, yeah, I mean, white just didn't really play correctly, right? I mean, we got this triple attack, right? That really highlights the prominence, the power of the KID, right? Okay, so don't play like what Black did in the second game, all right? Yeah, so yeah, go back, go through the critical moments. I hope you enjoyed these two games, and I will see everybody in the next recording. There will be a lot of chess events, activities from my end coming up, and I will be making an announcement in the following week. Right, so with that being said, take care, stay happy, stay healthy, and I will see everybody in the next recording.